But first, let's start with that big news, the 3 U.S. airmen from Ohio who were killed in Iraq.
Right. This all came out Friday as we've learned more about this crash in Iraq that left three dead. So we'll talk about each one of these men that we'll see. We can pull that graphic
let's pull up
now.
their graphic.
And
starting on the left.
Yeah, starting on the left is Captain Seth Koval, then going across Captain Curtis Angst and Tech Sergeant Tyler Simmons. Now, these men were all on board a refueling tanker that crashed. It was a Boeing Stratotanker. U.S. Central Command says it was an incident involving 2 aircraft in friendly airspace. This was not an attack. It kind of sounding like a freak accident.
Right. And we're still waiting to learn more from the Department of Defense about and CENTCOM about what led up to all of that.
Right. And while we're waiting to learn kind of the outcomes of that investigation, we are learning a little bit more about each of these 3 that were killed. So we'll go ahead and start with Captain Koval here.
Yes.
We learned that he lived in Stoutsville and worked as an aircraft commander with the 121st Air Refueling Wing. That's based out of here in Columbus at a Rickenbacker Airport. Now, he served 19 years.
Long
this was
time.
after enlisting in Indiana. Then he was transferred to Ohio to be part of the Air National Guard in 2017. And he was basically a lifelong serviceman. He died at the age of 38.
Yeah, and now we want to show you who Captain Curtis Angst was. He served as a KC-135 pilot at the same wing at Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base here in Columbus. And during his 10 years of service, he was responsible for flying worldwide air refueling, aeromedical, cargo, and passenger operations. He lived here in Columbus as well.
Yeah, and then the third is Technical Sergeant Tyler Simmons. And this is the one that we've kind of followed through the weekend a lot. And Bryn, you had the opportunity for that. So he was the boom operator on one of these KC-135s, these Stratotankers. He was from Columbus, born and raised. He graduated from Eastmore Academy over in the Eastmore neighborhood back in 2015. And we talked with his family over the weekend. And they tell us he loved his job. And, anything he loved more than his job was that he loved his country. His mom had this to say when we talked to her yesterday.
Once he got in the back of that airplane, that was it. He said, "I will retire from this, Mom. I will retire from this." I said, "Well, what about the pilot? You always wanted to be a pilot." "I'll do that with commercial after I retire from doing it."
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And
they were very emotional.
Very
about
emotional.
all this.
And it's incredibly understandable. One of my friends from TV jobs many years ago split his time between working in news, and he was also one of these tech sergeants.
Oh, wow.
So he was also a boom operator on one of these Stratotankers, and some of the images that Brandon would send back to be like, "Hey, look at this," they're breathtaking.
It's an incredible job, and it's really important, especially with everything going on in the Middle East right now. Yesterday, I was at a flag lowering ceremony for Sergeant Tyler Simmons. His entire family was there, and all of his friends. It was incredible, the turnout. I mean, dozens of people. This was at Berwick Alternative Elementary School on the east side, which is where he went to elementary school. A lot of his friends that were there, they've been friends with him since the 3rd grade. Wow. So a really long time. And his father was there as well. Just talking about like what you said, he loved his job, but he really did love his country.
Right. And this really hits home to the degree of, what are the impacts of this now war in Iran.
It seems so far away, right?
Does.
But it impacts everyone here.
And it's unfortunate because all of these families know this is a possibility, but it's one that none of them should have to, they shouldn't have to bury their own child.
Absolutely.
But it is one that they are prepared for, and it's one that, these men they knew that they were accepting the risk of this in order to protect us.
Yeah. Here's what his dad had to say.
Tyler was an amazing son, full of life, full of agility. It's an honor to have been his father. Met no strangers. He lit up every room that he came into. He lived life with purpose. It's just made us proud.
He certainly made his family proud. And I also spoke with one of his dearest friends. And I asked him, when was the last time you spoke to him? And he said they were supposed to meet up for some gaming thing. And they ended up both falling asleep and waking up the next morning texting each other saying, "Uh-oh, you fell asleep. I fell asleep. We didn't meet up." So that kind of is hitting him hard right now. He wishes they would have seen each other one last time in the end of February. And he said he had no idea he was being deployed out there. And when he got that phone call, he was shocked. Here's a little bit of that sound.
See, I didn't even know he was going over there. I know he kept his work kind of private. I would ask about it, but he was just like, can't disclose it. So I knew he had a strong will. I knew he was, he was strong and like he had a good willpower. So I didn't think nothing of it. And when I got that call, I just was in disbelief. He grew up in Berwick. Tyler, we're gonna keep his name alive. We're never gonna forget about him. We're gonna live through him. He's watching us right now.
Everyone kept talking about how Tyler had such an infectious laugh. That was the one thing everyone kept bringing up as well, just his laughter. And that's a big piece of him that they'll remember.
Yeah, he certainly will be. He will be missed, but also, of course, remembered. That this is he was doing something he loved, and for the country he loved and the people he loved.
Yeah, so we're still waiting to learn more about what exactly led up to this crash. We're waiting on updates from the Department of Defense on that.